is Micah, and welcome to Millennial Facts. And this week's fact is, I'm going to read it because last time I forgot the source and I have to put it back in that bio. So for the person who asked where I got those facts from, stay tuned. I'm still looking for it. But this millennial fact is 40% of millennials think that blogging about workplace issues is acceptable, compared to 28% of the baby boomer generation. And that was from an article researched by Gordon Treadgold from inc.com. So I totally agree with this fact, only because I know so many people that I follow on all of my social media accounts always tend to put out what's going on in the workplace on their social media, whether that be, oh, I cannot believe I have to go to work today, or my boss today really pissed me off, blah, 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 or this girl or this guy that works, we're constantly being so open about what goes on in the workplace, and technically that's not really professional, but we do it. So I totally agree that we feel like our social media is just our outlet. You know, it doesn't matter. We cross all type of lines. We cross all type of barriers when it comes to that, because we feel very entitled to our social media networks. And essentially, I can post whatever I want on my social media. But like I've said before, to a certain extent, I think we need to be cognizant of what we're actually posting, because it can be held against us. And you can always preach all day, well, this is my account, this is my account. But at the same time, I can still judge you based off what you put on your account. I can still fire you based off what you put on your account. I can still unfriend you based on what you put on your social media. I know I talked about before, it was one girl, she got hired to work, I think at Pizza Hut or something like that. So her first job, she was 16 or whatever, and she tweeted, I haven't even started work yet, and I'm already done with this effing job type thing, or something along those lines. And apparently someone who, hired her for the position was looking through their Twitter. She followed her on Twitter because she wanted to see what type of person she was. That's what employers are doing now, guys. They're looking at your social media to see if you're suitable people for their company. But nonetheless, she saw that, showed it to the manager, and he was like, don't worry about coming to work. You fired on your first day, and you ain't even got to work yet. So I just think we need to be really, really, really just cautious and conscious about what we actually put on our social media that regards to work. As far as like social media being like some type of outlet for some people, because communication is so difficult, I think across the board, I don't think it doesn't matter if you're a millennial or not. I think effectively communicating with people is really difficult. I know, for one, if I feel like I had a really rough day at work, I really don't feel like talking to people per se, or if I had a really rough day just in general, and I don't feel like talking to a actual person because I don't want to hear feedback at that point in time, it's easy to just run social media, because you don't have to necessarily read the comments. You may or may not even get a comment, because half the time people don't even care. So let's put that out there. So I really feel like we're venting for ourselves and also for the attention of people. But at the same time, I get it. I totally get it. Having a conversation with someone is kind of exhausting. The person may not understand where you're coming from. The person may blame you as well, and you don't want to really be blamed in that moment. The person may not agree with why you're upset. It's just so many other things why we just rather not communicate with human beings versus just going on our social media and talking about how our day was. But I think this post, this fact actually speaks volume, because we are social media. We're in the social media realm, like we're technology, shaped. And so, I mean, it's difficult for us to not run the social media because this is all we know. More times than often, we forget that we didn't have social media. I think the millennial generation actually benefited from not having social media, and then all of a sudden it's such a craze. Because if you think about it, before MySpace came out, what were we doing? We were hanging out outside. We were talking on the phone all day. We always had phones. That's always just been our thing. But at the same time, we actually knew how to connect with each other, and we didn't have to vent on anything, because we can vent to each other, and it was okay. And I think relationships were much stronger then. But social media came around, and it's like, oh, okay, so I can just express how my day was on MySpace, and then everybody sees it. I don't have to call nobody because everybody knows what happened. Now, the real friends call you when you type something online that's like, what happened to you today? And then they wanna be filled in with details. But other than that, I just feel like we've just been shaped so much as far as social media goes that we put whatever we want on social media. And regardless if it's about the workplace or regardless if it's about the home place or whatever, we just express ourselves on social media. So what I will say, this millennial fact, is we need to be careful about what exactly we're posting. It's all fun and games when you're just venting, you're going off on Snapchat. Usually it happens on Snapchat. Not so much on Facebook. We do follow our coworkers and we follow our bosses. Like the millennial generation is probably, I think it's like 28% more likely to do that than any other generation. We really have blurred lines when it comes to coworkers, employees, and social media. It's kind of difficult. I work with you, but then at the same time, I don't want you to see me outside that professional light. But the moment I accept you on Facebook, I'm kind of inviting you into my world type thing. So that's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of iffy with that one. But the most part, we just need to be careful about what we're posting exactly on Snapchat because we don't know how they could possibly get a hold of it, but they possibly could get a hold of it. One day, you probably pissed your boss off, your boss pissed you off, you went on Snapchat, you went on a rant, and somehow he saw it. Then what? Then you're possibly fired. You're probably going to get written up. You know how some companies feel about sharing certain information. I'm not sure how far it goes or how far we go or how far whoever shares what they share about their workplace and social media. I don't know how far they go. But I do know there's rules and guidelines of what you can and cannot share about the place that you work. So I'm just going to leave you guys with just be careful about how much we're sharing about our workplace on social media. And that was the Millennial Fact for the week. Thank you.